And I confessed to him that I killed Angela and the kids.
Leonard Raheem Taylor murdering his girlfriend Angela Rowe and her 3 children in St. Louis in 2004 was supposedly the crime for which Taylor was found guilty and given the death penalty. Taylor, who up to his death disputed the allegations, was shown on tape navigating the street. Today we'll uncover a disturbing story, as our topic for today is 2 days before the mass murder was executed in death row. According to the state, Taylor's journey was proof that he was attempting to flee the crime scene. Taylor, though, said that he was traveling for work and to finally see his daughter, a 13-year-old whom he had never met. The fact that Rowe and her children were still alive when Taylor contacted her when he was at his daughter's house was corroborated by both Deja and her mother. Regardless of this contradiction, Taylor was apprehended 2 weeks later and charged with 4 charges of first-degree murder. In the end, he was found guilty and given his death sentence. Taylor's innocence is disputed by others, and the case is not without its complications. There were no eyewitnesses or concrete pieces of evidence connecting Taylor to the murders. Therefore, the prosecution's case was entirely supported by circumstantial evidence. When Angela Rowe's sister Georgwan attempted to contact her kids' school on Friday, December 3rd, they responded that they hadn't been there all week, which was odd because the kids never missed school. Around 6 p.m., Rowe's house in Jennings, a St. Louis suburb, phoned the police. They arrived to see a startling and terrifying spectacle. The 3 Rowe children, Alexis, age 10, Akria, age 6, and Tyrese, age 5, were discovered in the rear bedroom, all dressed and laying on the bed with gunshot wounds to the heads. The front bedroom's television was on loud in the same space. Rowe also had a head wound from a gunshot when he was discovered under a blanket. Rowe's corpse was in rigor mortis, and Joseph Leb from the medical examiner's office observed that her core body temperature was just over 51 degrees, despite the air conditioning being set to 50 degrees. He also saw the first indications of disintegration. On Saturday, November 27th, Kirjuan last saw Rowe, and she told Leb about it. When the deaths were discovered, Taylor was inside the home, and other Rowe's family members later revealed to the authorities that their friendship had not always been easy. Taylor has a history of violence and a criminal record. He had previously done time in California for physical exploitation, and in 2000, he was charged with abusing his stepdaughter, then 16 years old. The authorities did not, however, give a specific reason why the victims were killed. Rowe, Taylor, and their kids moved into the Jennings home in the summer of 2004. There were photographs of the happy couple and love notes that Rowe had scrawled all over the house, and she had gotten Taylor's name tattooed on her arm. Taylor was relieved by the decision since a narcotics transaction with the Gangster Disciples, a notoriously deadly gang active in St. Louis and southern Illinois, had just gone awry. He also had a lead on his long-lost daughter Deja, who he found in California a few days after Thanksgiving thanks to the lead. Taylor contacted Rowe at home in St. Louis during their reunion to tell him the good news. To meet Rowe and 10-year-old Alexis, he intended to bring Deja to St. Louis. The next Monday, Taylor hopped on a Greyhound bus with a kilogram of cocaine and made his way back to the East Coast for work. He was taken into custody in Kentucky on December 9th for the murders of Rowe and her children, as he claimed to the Kansas City Star. Perry Taylor started the investigation after receiving a call from a detective with the St. Louis police 8 hours after Kathy Rowe and her 3 children's bodies were found on December 3rd. Perry was staying the night south of Atlanta at the time. The evidence does not make it clear if Rowe and her children were shot to death before the cops told him about it. Perry was eventually located by police at a truck shop on the New Jersey Turnpike. When they brought him to the neighborhood police station, they again questioned him about when he last spoke to his brother. Perry recalled that his brother had spoken to him over the phone regarding a rap concert in Alabama, but the investigators said that their records proved differently. Taylor was also questioned if she had a firearm. Perry remarked that, knowing his brother's lifestyle, he wouldn't be surprised. Taylor was located in a car's floorboard 4 days after the corpses were uncovered. He was detained after leaving the Kentucky home of a different girlfriend. Taylor's punishment took place at the prison in Bonne Terre, and Taylor was sentenced to be severely punished for his acts. That's it from us today. See you guys in the next one.